Once you have found a new nesting site, you'll want to add it to your profile. If the site is not already in the Shorebird database, you'll need to add it. After logging in and going to your My Data page, if you scroll to the bottom left, you'll see a box titled My Sites. The top half of the box is for your solitary sites, while the bottom half is for your colonial sites. The process for adding these sites is very similar, but let's start with adding a solitary site. If you click on the Create New Site button for solitary sites, you'll be brought to a page titled Establish a New Solitary Site. The first thing that you must do to create a new solitary site is to provide a location for the site. There are two basic options for providing a location for a site. The first is option A, which is to use a Google map to find the site and capture a click where the site is located. The second option is to use GPS coordinates. If you have a GPS with you in the field, you can capture these coordinates and bring them in and enter them here. Let's start by looking at option A. At the top of the map, you'll see there's an option to zoom map to, and then once you hit zoom, it'll go to a location. For instance, let's zoom to Destin, Florida. You'll see that the map zooms in and brings you to the area where you search. From here, you can move the map around, pan, zoom in, zoom out, and find where the site was that you located. Once you have found the site, you select the Capture Click button to capture a click on the map. To capture a click, simply make a single left click on the map. Once you do so, you'll see that there's an icon that has appeared on the map. This icon can be dragged and moved around as much as you desire until you have found the location that the site was in that you discovered. Similarly, option B, you can enter in GPS coordinates and then refine the location of the nest that you found. You'll see below you have the site coordinates, which are the exact coordinates for the GPS point that is on the map currently. Also, you'll note that an icon popped up over here. Looking below, you can see that there's an option to show sites and my routes within a certain distance. There are a number of distances measured in miles that you can see sites around the location of the site that you're adding right now. This is important to pay attention to because you do not want to enter duplicate sites or sites that somebody else has already entered. You'll note that we have a colonial site nearby. You can click on the icon to see more information about this site, see its name, species if there have been any entered yet, a description. You also have the option to add this site to your profile if you'd like. We're not going to do that at this time. Once you are satisfied with the location of your site, you'll want to scroll down to the bottom of the page to complete details about the site. You'll see that there's a prefix, OL, which stands for Okaloosa, the county in which this site is in. There will be a prefix and a number that is added to every site that's in the database. This will serve as a unique ID that you can use to share with other users of the site when you're talking about certain sites. You also are asked to create a unique place name for this site. Try to create a name that is unique to the location and, in solitary sites, the species of the site. You want to have something that identifies very clearly what site you're talking about because other users may also be using this site during the nesting season. Here, we'll say that it's the Destin Snowy Plover 1. You'll also see that you have the option to add to my route. Don't worry about that now, we can come back to that later. For solitary sites, you'll be asked to identify the species of the site. As we already mentioned, this was a snowy plover nest. Site type refers to the type of site that you have found. For now, let's just worry about ground sites, which is what should be added on this page. You also have the option to enter in a site description. If necessary, describe the location of the site and/or how to access it. This is something that isn't required, but if you're sharing the site with other users, you may want to make sure to enter in a good description here. Once you have entered in all the required information, simply hit the Submit button. After it is processed, you'll get a message that the site has been added, and you are given the option of what you would like to do next. If you would like, you can enter in site visit data or also enter in another site. Let's return to My Data. You will see now that your site appears on your map. If we zoom out, we can see there it is in Destin where we had just put it. You'll also see that it now shows up in your grid. Let's take a look now at colonial sites. Similar to solitary sites, select the Create New Site button. The page for creating new colonial sites is very similar to that for solitary sites. Again, you have the option to select points by clicking on the map or also entering in GPS coordinates. One significant difference with colonial sites is that instead of entering a single point for the site, you're asked to outline a footprint of the colony. Let's say that we found another colonial site in Destin, and we're going to use the map to outline its location. Once we've found the location of the colonial site, we can use the Capture Clicks button to outline the footprint of the colony. Again, using single left clicks, you can add points to the map. As you add the points, you'll see that they're numbered in the order that you've clicked. And as you get more and more points, you'll see that there is a polygon that is being added to the map. There is no need to worry about completing the polygon, as the program will complete it for you. It is also worth noting that, again, you may drag these points to refine the shape and size of the colony. Instead of having a single set of latitude and longitudes, for a colony you'll have a list of latitude and longitude pairs for the colony footprint. You'll notice a couple things in this area. First, there's a maximum length that is given, 517 feet in this case. This represents the longest distance between 2 points in the colony. It would give you an idea of how long or how wide the colony is. Also, there's colony area. This is an approximation of the area that the colony covers based on your outline. You'll also see you have a list of each latitude and longitude pair that you've entered on the map, and you can also delete or delete all the points here. Once you're satisfied with your colony footprint, you'll want to scroll to the bottom to enter in the last couple site details. You'll see again that there's a county prefix added to the site. You're also again asked to create a unique place name for the site. For colonial sites, you have the option to use historic names that are associated with certain nesting areas. In this instance, you'll see that there's two that are less than 1 mile from where my site is. If one of these colony names matches my site, I can select to use these. I don't see what I'm looking for here, so I'll enter in a different name. Again, for colonies, you have the option to enter in a site description. This should be something that describes the location and or how to access the site if it's necessary. Here it's not necessary, so let's go ahead and submit this site. Upon returning to your data, you'll see that your new site has been added. You'll see it on the map and also on your data grid. You will also note that there is a number that has been added to each one of your sites. This number is unique within that county and allows you to communicate with other users of this website.